Hey guys, this is Dave Bennett from Website Marketing Solutions, and I want to show you how to quantify how much money you'll make if you get ranked at the top for your keywords. Because we're always talking about ranking you higher, get your average position up to 22, up to 18, up to 9, up to 6, up to 3, and you'll make a lot more money. But how much? So I'm going to show you in this video a way to actually see the answer to that. So let me take a keyword that's Houston optometrist, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how much money they're making from their Google rank. We're going to figure out how much money the number 2 guy's making to see how different those 2 guys are. Then we're going to figure out how much this guy down here is making, some guy down low on the page. Then for the fun of it, because who knows where you would be when you start off. Everybody's on Google ranking for their keywords. If you have a website, you're ranking for your keywords. You just don't know where you are until you find yourself. You might be on page 4, you might be on page 40. If you search carefully page by page, you'll find yourself. Doesn't matter where you are, we can rank you. And anything below page 5, we can drive you to page 5 in a single month. Okay? Because you can go from page 40 to page 5 in a month. And then after that, like for every month you would be paying us to rank, you can get from page 5 to 4, from 4 to 3, 3 to 2. And then it might take 2 or 3 months to get up on page 1 because that's where all the savviest guys are. Now, with that in mind, how much money would you make if you were a Houston optometrist on a lower page? Like let's say page 5, somewhere in the middle. And let's say you decided that you were going to pay us. Okay, and in a month we got you up. So let's say we get you up page 4, somewhere in the middle. Well, we got to see how much that guy's making right now. Okay, and then what if we push you again? So you pay us again and we shove you up to like page 3. And because we're on a roll, let's just say you're the number 2 person on page 3. We're going to find out how much this guy's making from Google. I'm not talking about from Facebook or from Yelp or from handing out their business cards or word of mouth. I'm talking about from Google Ring, from making themselves strong enough to be on page 3 for a very useful keyword. How much are they making from that for free clicks to their website, no ads? Okay. And then what if you pay us another month, we get you up on page 2. Let's say we get you to the number 1 position on page 2. Why do I say number 1? I mean, we'll guarantee being on page 2 anyway. Let's say we're trying to get you here. Because it's always interesting to see the difference between someone at the top of page 2 and if you got onto the bottom of page somewhere, how much extra money you'll get paid if you were there. Okay. I don't like to use the bottom guy because the dynamics are different on the front page. Some people, when they do the search, they scroll to the bottom automatically. They see that guy first. And I don't want to use the university. There was some reason I didn't use this website. I don't remember what it was. But I did pull up the graph on this website to see how much they're making. Okay. So let's take a look at all those graphs, right? So what do? Again, here's how you do this. Go to your keyword, something you desire to rank on, and first find yourself. Figure out if you're on page 5, say, or 40. We'll get you on page 5 in a month. So then from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. How much would you make? So let's take a look at all those websites I just pointed out to you. From the middle of page 5, Mia Eye Care, to the middle of page 4, Houston Eye Pro, to the number 2 spot on page 3 is Inside Eye Care Houston. To the number 1 guy on page 2 is Vision Source Houston. And then from there to the bottom of page 1, Eye Center of Houston. And then these top 2 guys here, let's go look at their graphs right now. We're going to use a tool called SpyFu. It's going to show us organic results on this side. That's the free listings, kind of like these. Okay. And it's going to show us if they're paying for AdWords over here. Now, here's the thing. When companies are paying for AdWords, are paying for every lead, right? Every click, pay per click, okay? And whatever that amount would be, that's what they don't have to pay if they're getting those clicks over here organically because they're getting them for free, right? So this is the amount of money they're saving that they would have normally been having to pay, okay? Now, here's the rule of thumb because SpyFu's really large and they do this, right? This is reflective of optometrists in Houston on those keywords. This number is actually from looking at those keywords being paid for by other optometrists in Houston in order to figure out what that's worth over here. And where the relative position is for every keyword is going to determine the probability of them getting clicked and therefore what that number would be. It's no joke serious, this system, as far as researching all that information. Okay? So if they would be spending that much in AdWords, then they're probably getting 3 times the revenue back. I'm just saying that. You can use whatever you want as a marker. They're getting twice that back or 3 times that back, 4 times that back. I'm going to say 3 times that back. Why? Because I can use that marker for everyone on all those pages. Ready? So they are making like $1,000 a month from Google. Probably don't even realize it. That's like one guy walking in their shop once a month, who found them on Google. They may not have even realized that guy found them on Google. Okay? That's what they're making on page 5. What if we got them to page 4? Okay, because this could be you in your industry, and who knows what your numbers are, but you can look them up, okay, to see what it's worth to you to rank. So if they were in the same spot on page 4, then they'd be making about this, right? This is more reflective of where they'd be. Because as they put the work in, they get more keywords, they start to rank higher. Okay, so then they'd be making like 522 here, so they're making like 1,500 a month. Okay, that would be 18,000 a year extra just by moving up 10 spots on Google. Okay, so what if we got them higher? Inside Eye Care Houston, they're the second guy down on page 3, right? Now they're making 3,000 a month, which is 36,000 a year extra coming from Google. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? That's by just climbing that high from page 5 to the top of page 3. It's like climbing 24 spots. Okay, what if we got them to the number 1 guy on page 2? They're doing better yet. Okay, now you got 1,630. It's fun to break out a calculator at some point. 1,630 times 12 would be what? About 20,000 a month, except that that's got to be times 3, right? That's the whole point. About 60,000 a year extra from being the top guy on page 2. Okay, that's Google income. This is free money. They're not working any harder to get this money. They're not putting in more effort, and they're not paying per lead. Okay, they're not having to pay this amount. That's the whole point. So sure, they're paying us to rank there so they can sit there and month after month after month just make a lot of money. Okay, so what if they pay us again? Maybe they're paying us $1,000 a month for every step up the ladder, but do you see where it's going and how fast they're getting there? Okay, so now they pay us again for another month. Now they're at the bottom of page 1. They're probably making something like this. That's what the guy's making. So if you've got 2270 times 3 times 12, that's 81,720. They are obviously able to pay for one of their employees and pay for their insurance, pay for their Christmas bonus, right? Coming off of just that without doing anything extra. So Google is paying for one of their employees for them. That means if they pay me like $5,000 at $1,000 a month for 5 months, they paid $5,000 in order for Google to pay them back for one of their employees for a whole year. That's what that's worth to them. What if they pay another $1,000? Okay, and we shove them up to like the number 2 spot. Okay, say we can do that. Now you got 5,000 out, so 15,000 a month times 12. Now they're at 180,000. Even if I divide by 2, right? That's easily enough to be paying for two employees for the year with money to spare, probably, right? So that's what it's worth to her to pay 6,000 or 7,000 to me, right? To pay for 2 employees for a year. Then what if we drive her one more step up and she's number 1? Now, by the time she's getting that far, making that kind of money, she might be expanding. She might have a second franchise opening up with some of her key students to start to man it in the area, because that's what I would do. With that much extra money coming in, it's time to grow, right? So if that's true, she's, that top person might have a number of franchises by now to rank for that many keywords, but they're getting like 32,000 clicks a month, about 65,000 a month, right? So if they've got 65,000 times 3 times 12 for the year, okay, that's 2,340,000 a year. Now, is that out of profile for a busy optometrist in Houston? No. First, I know dentists, and if they have 3 or 4 people who are doing their job and the office is only taking in $2 million a year, it's too little money. they've got guidelines for how to raise that to 4 million, 5 million a year. Okay. Very much. So dentists are taking 5 million to 10 million a year. That's very, very normal. Now, the next time you think about when you step into the eye center, right, and you're looking for glasses, you got to take an exam. You notice there are almost always other people in there along with you trying on glasses, right? Those places are busy. And yet, how much do you have to pay for a pair of glasses, maybe contacts, and your eye exam? Anyway, right? So these eye care centers, they're making a lot of money constantly. Everybody has to deal with their eye issue, right? So there you go. All these curves are different for every keyword, for every industry, but you can do the math on what you would expect to receive if you ranked at the top for your keywords. And that's how you can quantify how much you're willing to spend us to get you there. Okay. And just to make a point, say we go with SpaceCenterEyeAssociates.com, where we actually did work for them starting in like late April, early May. They'd already been getting some basic backlinks on their own, but we really pushed it. Out of their 333 backlinks, we got like 306 of them for them. Okay. So we drove it up starting right about mid-April, something like that, early May, right? Here's what happened to them. Okay. They were never ranking before. So right now they're floating around up here. There's like $3,270 a month in click value, right? For 2,500 clicks a month. Think about that for a minute. Here's the thing that's interesting about this. Before, they were probably at like the 270. So we added like 3,000 a month of this value. So they're probably taking in 9,000 a month extra right now, like 108,000 a year right now. So even if we charged them $40,000 to make this happen, it would be worth it to them. Here's the point. They were barely making it on Google, right? So all their leads are coming in from word of mouth or from Yelp or Facebook, but nothing from Google until we got involved. Now, this bit of curve here, we're not going to claim because this is like end of the year insurance money. Everybody was posting their ads and driving people to their website for their deals and getting appointments. But that's easy because people need to get the money spent before it expires, right? That's like insurance money once a year. Okay. But at this point here, April, right? Like I said, we kicked in backlinks for them and drove like 306 up, starting right up in here, like end of April through May, right? We drove it in May. We quit doing the work right here, July 11th, because that's why the curve goes flat. It just means that we stopped working. Okay. Here's what happened to them though. Come end of April, wham, now they're shooting up, right? This first curve is 1,000 visitors a month. They never hit it before. We did our bit of work on a demo run for them, and they got to nearly 3,000 visitors that month. And then, of course, it did drop off. You know why? We were wondering, except we're not wondering because it's Houston, right? The coronavirus issue was really strong for them for a while, and it kind of came back, right? But they've been turning it back around over there, so economy's starting to improve again. They got up to here, right? So this is how much traffic's coming in, is basically 3,000 a month. It's the most they ever had coming from Google. Okay, it's huge. So why did it drop? Well, this is September, right? The 2nd. So let's reassess. If they're already here on September the 2nd, where are they going to be by the end of September? Okay, so that's the point I want to make. If they were a client of ours, we'd push harder, but they're not. This was a demo. That's how much power we have when you come to us for your work, right? We'll rank you, you'll make money. So now I just showed you how to use SpyFu and go look up a keyword you want to rank on and just start taking down some of those websites into a text file and then open a bunch of tabs, go to SpyFu every time, paste in those tabs and just do the math. Now, if you see numbers that don't seem to make sense in the middle of page 3, see how many words they're ranking on. They could be a really big company and you just happen to catch them ranking low on a keyword, but they're ranking high on a lot of other keywords. So just make sure that what you're looking at is kind of apples to apples. Like page 5, yeah, the fewest organic keywords, and then page 4, page 3. Does that make sense? Make sure you're seeing apples to apples comparisons. Okay, but there you go. Website-marketing-solutions.com. Now you can compute on a calculator. You can come out with a sensible, realistic understanding of how much you'd be spending on us and how much you'll make as a result. Once you're ranked high, you can stop paying us and keep getting traffic every month, because once you get up there and people start clicking on your site and they're reading your articles or watching your videos, they're clicking through on pages and they're calling you and leaving the page open while they talk to you, then Google sees all that hang time on your website. And that holds you in the top positions, because that's a big measurable for Google, is time spent on site doing things, interacting with your site. So just think about what's realistic for your needs. See, if Mia comes here and she wants to pay for this, it'll take her more than 5 months to rank, right? It might take her 2 years to rank. But if she really wants to push it and get there, then she's going to either pay here or here, and she's going to just pound right through, okay? The guys who would be paying lower, it's sensible for medium competition keywords. But again, you can pay low, you can pay high, you can cancel, you can get another position anytime you want. But that's just it. Pay with the best budget you can to get as high as you can, as fast as you can, to make the most money as soon as you can. And then you can go ahead and pause or cancel. And whenever you start to drop off or you need more traffic again, just restart, or pay even for 1 month, probably kind of like a maintenance mode, just pay once to get a little refresher going. And then there you go. That'll drive you back up. Okay. So this is a really good place for you to be. We're cheaper and more efficient than all of our competitors combined, as far as we're aware. We have not seen anyone that does backlinking the way we do, as well as we do. We do it right. We create full-scale affiliate websites that refer to our clients. Totally different than a comment on a WordPress blog, or totally different than a signature in a forum post. Okay, we do this right. Okay, looking forward to servicing you. If you got any questions, ask. Other than that, it's nice and simple. We don't need to interfere with your life at all. All we need is your email for ranking updates every month, so you can see what our work's like. We'll give you full access to the system. And other than that, your website, right? What is it that you want ranked? Then start subscribing. That's it. For every month you pay, we'll do something dramatic with your website. So there you go. Now you actually have a powerful way of figuring out how much money you'll make as you rank and when you rank well. Okay? All right. Looking forward to working with you as soon as you're ready. Just start up. We'll start taking care of you.